Hey, everybody, this is Alan Fine, and I'm here with Robin Lawther, who is the Vice President of Expedia TAP. That's the Travel Agent Affiliate Program. We're going to talk about how TAP is increasing its investment in travel advisors and a lot more here on Insider Travel Report. Expedia allows travelers to directly access products and to book their own travel. But what has happened in the travel trend that has made Expedia invest in the middleman or middle person, which in this case is the travel advisor?
Yeah, thanks for having me today to talk to you. Perhaps to give a little bit of backstory, TAP has been around as a product for the last 15 years. So we've always recognized that there's been agents out there or advisors have been out there that have wanted to book travel and wanted to find different ways to access it. We found 15 years ago, and it predates my time with TAP, that these advisors were going on to Expedia.com and they were just booking on the consumer site because they had a product that they actually liked or their travelers wanted. And we realized, well, there's an opportunity to create something more specific for advisors. At that point, we did something pretty simplistic. We put a layer on top of Expedia.com. We made that available to advisors, and that grew and grew steadily over time. But we've realized over time that, hey, this is actually a really interesting space. Yes, there's groups of customers that want to book online on Expedia.com or American Airlines, but there's a whole group of people out there that still want and still really value advisors. And particularly when we look at the US, this is an enormous market, a market that has really done incredibly well over the last number of years. And so we took a long, hard look at ourselves and we said, actually, there's an opportunity for us really to do something more and to really help support this community and build a product that is much more specific and much more suited to them to really help cater much more to their needs.
So I know that you were citing some ASTA statistics about the trends toward using travel advisors. Did you want to speak to that?
Yeah, and when you talk about trends and using travel advisors, I reflect back to 2020. And I took over the TAP business in September 2020, which you could say maybe was a moment of madness given everything going on in the world. I certainly had my own reservations. We'd seen this huge pivot of everybody doing everything online. And some really were questioning what is the future. Actually, if you look at what's happened since then, it's been just a truly remarkable recovery, both in the US and worldwide. I think partly you've seen people coming out of the pandemic thinking, actually, if something goes wrong and travel is complex, I really want someone who I can pick up who I know at the end of the phone is going to help me with my problems or is going to guide me to the best destination, best choices possible. But also, we've just seen remarkable resilience amongst advisors themselves. Some people had their businesses decimated. Maybe they did something else for a period of time, but they've come back and travel has come back to meet that. And then also, and I think particularly if we take the US, there's almost kind of a new market being created in the US as well with the rise of the host agencies, people coming into this market that perhaps weren't playing in it before, and just really kind of a huge and buoyant market that we're seeing right now. And to that point on ASTA, absolutely, they've talked about a number of people using advisors, and that's certainly true in the data that we see as well and the level of interest we've seen in our product.
There are many booking programs that travel advisors use, and they're happy with their other systems. Why should they start to try TAP?
Okay. Hopefully for me that's an easy one. When I think about the TAP program, there's really kind of three things that come to mind as to why should people actually use this. That is supply, so our hotel product and other products that we sell, the core platform itself, and then the support that we provide. And I'll expand on all three of those. So firstly, from a supply standpoint, that's really what brings people in the door. We're one of the largest providers of hotel content out there. We have incredibly competitive prices and very competitive commission levels. And again, a bit back to your original question around kind of Expedia and what we're doing. We make available all of the content that is available on Expedia.com. But now increasingly over the last few years, since we signed a deal with Marriott back in around 2018, 2019, we also bring in B2B specific content. And that's something we've continued to add to and will do more going forward. So there are more and more rates available in our product that are specifically for travel advisors. Then once they actually get into the product itself, this is, I think, probably the easiest user interface and booking tool that is out there. We took a website that was designed for customers to use themselves, and we made it more friendly for travel advisors. Therefore, the core interface and flows are incredibly easy. There is great information available. There's great pictures. Navigating from start to finish is very, very simple. And particularly for new entrants coming into the industry, you can start booking on Tap without any training. It's that easy to use. And then thirdly, and you could possibly say most importantly, there's a support aspect to it as well. I would be lying if I said travel is always going to be seamless and we can guarantee that things will never go wrong. Like, it's travel, stuff goes wrong all of the time. But I do think whenever something does go wrong, we have a huge and dedicated team actually there to support people. And one of the things that we've seen, it's been an interesting trend, and perhaps lots of people talk about this. We introduced what we called our virtual agent a number of years ago. With the power of AI, that can help solve some customer queries, perhaps faster than calling in themselves. What we also added on top of that, though, was the ability to interact directly with an agent via chat on the website. And particularly when I take the US as an example, we have a very significant proportion now of advisors choosing to chat with someone via text on the site rather than picking up the phone. A big productivity boost because you're not sitting on the phone line waiting for someone to do something. Easier to multitask because you use the Tap to sort out one issue while you're working somewhere else. And just a big productivity boost for advisors. And so as I put all three of those things together, I think those are really what gets people in the door and ultimately what makes many thousands of advisors very loyal to the Tap platform.
So a travel advisor, when they need live support, it's there for them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's there for them 24 hours a day via phone, but also 24 hours a day via what we call live chat on the site. And there's always a team there to support.
And is there training? Is there can they get involved and take some training?
Yeah, absolutely. So when there's a few different aspects to this. When somebody new joins to the Tap platform, we will have somebody reach out to them typically within the first 24 to 48 hours to help get them onboarded. There's a series of email communications that will be sent at that point as well to explain the basics of the platform. We have a part of the website is called the Tap Academy, and that is a whole series of how-to guides talking you through making your first booking, through how to get paid commissions. And then we run a series of webinars and events. Those range from basic webinars on you've just joined Tap, how do you make your first booking, how can I help you, through to webinars on particular destinations. And there's, I'd say, huge appetite from advisors based on what we have seen to learn about different destinations around the world. And then to events, typically in combination with an advisor's agency or their host, where we can actually get out and meet people in the field and they can meet with our teams as well.
What's the future of Tap? Are there new features being developed, and what can we expect?
Hopefully very bright in terms of future. Again, linking back to your question at the start around kind of Expedia and their view on advisors, this is an area of the market that we really recognize that we really want to support. Around 18 months ago, we started making pretty major investments into the Tap platform. Some of that has been a lot of behind the scenes work, but over the course of 2024, a lot more of that is actually going to start coming live. We have a new, what we call shopping experience to make it easier for agents and an experience that is much more targeted and refined for agents versus more of kind of the old Expedia.com view. And then particularly important to agents is everything related to payments. We launched a scheme a little while ago called deferred payments, which lets agents pay for travel later. In a couple of months this year, we're going to introduce what we call service fees. So if an agent wants or an advisor wants to be able to add an additional markup to a rate, they'll be able to do that through the platform. And many more things to come over the coming months as well. So I'd say from where we are right now, the course of 2024 into 2025, there's a whole lot more to come, which I am very excited about. And I think based on the feedback we've had from advisors we've been speaking to, hopefully they will be very excited as well.
Well, speaking of excited and payments, you talked about commission levels. Tell them a little more about that.
Yeah, so commission levels on Tap are very straightforward. We have 4 commission levels, and they range from what we call basic to basic plus, premium, and premium plus. And so whenever you search for, let's take lodging as the best example, whenever you search for a property on Tap, you'll see a little indication that shows how much you're going to earn for an individual property. That rate does vary by property and by perhaps date or destination, but we make that totally clear and transparent and upfront in the platform.
And are there incentives for travel advisors to start using TAP? Do you have any promotional programs currently running?
Yeah, there's a couple of things. I'd say incentives to start using TAP. I'd say fortunately we're in a position where we haven't needed to run lots of incentives to get people in the door. I think the kind of the core product and its proposition, we're getting thousands of signups every month. However, once people are on TAP, we want to reward them and incentivize them as much as possible. You've got the core commission piece that I talked about, but then there's a couple of pieces in addition to that. In the US, we have our TAP Rewards program, which is a loyalty program. And for every property that an advisor books, they can earn loyalty points on top of that. And they can then redeem those points for a whole range of different things, from vouchers with high street retailers to Amazon to Disney to Expedia and others. And then there's a range of incentives that we also run throughout the year. And typically we couple these together with kind of destination partners, so DMOs or hotels. Recently, we ran a destination incentive for the Dominican Republic. We've got one coming up with Visit Australia. And that tends to be giveaways for top bookers or prizes. If you book a certain destination, you'll get entered into a prize draw and things like that. And that's something we're going to do more and more of over time. And it's over time, as Expedia TAP has become bigger and more known in the market, more people come to us and say, what more can we do? We want to give more back to your advisors. How can you actually help us do that?
For the suspicious advisor, the Expedia is happy to enrich this group. You're not going to go around them to any clients. You can assure them that, correct?
Oh, I 100% guarantee that that will never happen. This business is totally segregated from the Expedia.com side of the business. And I'd say that's something that we are, I'd say, almost religious about, ensuring that we actually maintain the confidentiality and security of everything related to our partners. Are entirely incentivized to grow our TAP business, never to try and steal someone from TAP and divert them to Expedia.com. My absolute guarantee that that will never happen.
That's great. Well, it's all sounds wonderful, and it's coming at a good time. Let's we're going out to more than 126,000 travel advisors. Let's tell them where they can get more information, give them some URLs. Is there a different URL for the training, or is it all under one?
The absolute easiest point to start is our base website, expediatap.com. Start there. If you're already an advisor, log in and you'll hopefully know what to do. And that takes you then, once you're actually signed up as a member, that takes you through all of our training programs and processes. For somebody new that wants to learn more about TAP, again, I would start from the same starting point, expediatap.com. And once you fill in some very basic sign-up details, we'll get you up and running as quickly as possible. And then all the training and other information will flow from there.
That's great. Well, is there anything else? Did we cover it all, or is there anything else you want to tell our travel advisors who are watching?
I think you've covered it all. I think the main piece I'd add is just a big thank you. I think with over 100,000 advisors in your community, I suspect many of them are already loyal members of TAP and have been big supporters and proponents of TAP. So just a big thank you to all of those, and hopefully a welcome to some more that we may see signing up to TAP sometime very soon.
That's great. Robin, thank you so much for sharing the information, and I'm sure that it'll be a win-win for everybody. Thank you.
Thanks, Al, and hopefully look forward to meeting many of the people listening in very soon.
And this is Alan Fine for Insider Travel Report.